Now, I don't understand why some parents act so surprised when their kids go no contact, knowing damn well you treated that kid like a servant more than you treated them like a child. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some amazing parents out there, but then there's a select group of parents that traumatize their kids, that never allowed their kids to speak, never created a safe space, and to be honest, you're one of the reasons why your child deals with so many different issues like anxiety, because you stressed that kid out. That kid never was allowed to be a kid because you forced them to grow up fast. Now, a lot of parents are going to say, I was young, I tried my best, I did everything I could. That still doesn't mean that you ever had the conversation where you apologize for all the wrongs that you did to your child. If you as a grown adult, 40, 50, 60 years old, still can't self-reflect and listen to your child vent about the things that they went through, and you're just going to dismiss their feelings, that's why they don't want to talk to your ass no more. I understand this might make some of you mad, but a lot of these kids don't ask to be here. You sat up there and had that child. You sat up there and brought that child into this world. Now, if you did it in an irresponsible way and or you had a child before you was ready, are you going to put that onto the kid? Or are you going to take responsibility for your actions? At the end of the day, a lot of kids would love to love their parents and have that relationship. But a lot of adults act like fucking kids.
Wow, this is a very sensitive topic because I relate, like I actually relate. And I don't relate in the sense of my parents because, oh my God, I have had the most wonderful parents. But if you don't know, I lost my mom when I was 6 years old, 5 or 6, and I had to be taken in by some caregivers, me and my sisters, right? And all I can say is the trauma. The trauma. I am now 27, but I still remember the trauma I was put through. I still remember the things, you know, I had to go through with my sisters. And that actually made me realize that kids don't forget. Like the way you treat a kid when they are young, don't expect them to grow up and they just forget all the things you did to them. They just forget, you know, all the abuse, all the torture, you know, you put them through, and you expect them to miraculously just love you because now you're all adults and they should just get over it and, you know, embrace you because maybe you're the one who brought them up, you're their mother or you're their caregiver. Like, no, let me tell you guys, trauma lasts for long. This trauma is real. It just doesn't disappear overnight. And I remember one day someone told me that these family members, you know, the people I had to be raised by, it wasn't for a long time, but for that small period of time, like for some reason they feel some type of way because I personally, I went no contact with them. Like I don't talk to them unless I actually meet them in person. I might, you know, greet them, but that's just about it. Like there is no need for me to talk to you. Like what are we going to talk about? Because honestly, each time I look at them, like it brings back a lot of bad memories, you know. It brings back the torment, the abuse, you know, the torture, all the physical, the emotional abuse I had to, you know, suffer at their hands. And now that I am a grown-up adult, I know that I have a choice, you know. I have a choice to either stay in touch with them or not, and I chose not to for my own mental health. And actually, even when I hear that, you know, there is a gathering maybe at home and everyone is coming and these people are also coming, trust me, I'm not going to go. Like I am going to avoid that gathering. I am going to avoid that function because much as yes, they are still family, but the wounds, you know, the things they put me through, I forgave them. That's the truth. I actually don't have any bitterness in my heart when it comes to these people, but I just don't want to associate with them, you know? Like, I just feel I just can't be in the same space with them. I don't know if it's the trauma, I don't know what it is, but I'm just not comfortable around these people. Like, my spirit just doesn't feel comfortable around these people. And of course, I've heard that, you know, they feel some type of way that I don't talk to them, I don't call them, I never visit, I never attend any of their functions. But it's like, why are you acting like you've forgotten the things you put me through, the abuse you put me through? And it's actually funny because people know what they are doing. I actually realized that people actually know what they are doing, because I remember one day we were at this function and one of them said she actually has a kid. She was like, I think when I die, you guys will torture my kid, meaning me and my sisters. And I thought to myself, why would I torture your kid? By the time you said that, it means you know. Like, it's like you're guilty because you know you tortured me, because you know you tortured me and my sister. So you're guilty. You think that I would do the same to your child, but that's just not me. That's not my heart. Why would I torture a kid that, you know, a kid that is innocent? Like, I'm not that cold-hearted. And guys, that brings me to this whole point of, you know, Gen Zs and the millennials going no contact with their parents. Like, I feel like much as sometimes we may blame them for going no contact with their parents, like, there is a reason, honestly. Like, I feel no one can just wake up one day and they're like, oh, I'm going no contact with my parents, I'm going to cut them off. Like, honestly, guys, everyone would love their parents to be in their life. Like, everyone would love to have a relationship with their parents. But you find that people have a lot of trauma, you know. Some people had a very miserable childhood, you know. They were subjected to abuse, to torture, like, by their own parents. Like, honestly, sometimes I hear stories of people and they narrate to you how they were tortured by their own parents, and you're like, oh my god, are you sure this is your parents? Like, are you very sure this is, like, you came from her womb? Like, are you sure? Because the things they tell you they have been through, oh my god, I feel no parents can. But my dear, you'll be shocked.
People who go no contact with their parents always get the, oh, but they're your parents argument. But I think we need to ask, what did the parents do to make that person cut off all ties with their family? People don't wake up one day and suddenly decide to cut off their parents because they're bored. It was most likely constant abuse and neglect that repeated and piled up over the years. And in these situations, there are two options. Option number one, continue being an emotional and or physical punching bag for your abusers. Or option number two, leave. Parents who don't get cut off from their children's lives don't abuse their kids. It's pretty simple.
Like, people have been through a lot, you know. Your own parent tortures, your own parent abuses you, and when you grow up, they expect you to, you know, forget it all. They expect you to forget all the abuse they put you through and just form this harmonious relationship with them. Guys, I understand that our parents sometimes, like, they also had their own issues, you know. Maybe they had their own battles they were fighting when they were raising us, but I feel that doesn't give you the right to abuse a child. And okay, let's say it happened and you regret doing so. What have you done to mend that relationship? You know, have you ever tried to sit your kid down and apologize for all the trauma, all the abuse you put them through? Have you ever tried to mend that relationship? Because I feel, especially in the African society, parents feel like they are never wrong. You know, now, like here in Uganda, a parent is never wrong. We believe that a parent is never wrong, which is actually BS. Parents can be wrong. They too make mistakes, you know. Like, sometimes you just have to take accountability as a parent and you acknowledge that you put your child through a lot, you know. Like, you wounded them, you wounded their childhood, and you just sit down and, you know, apologize and try to rebuild that connection with them. But you find that sometimes some parents don't even care. Like, they don't even care to mend the relationship. They can never take accountability. community, and it's like the child, like the abused child, is the one that is expected to, you know, try and always reach out and, you know, work on the relationship with their parents, because I mean, they are the child, you know, so they are the ones that have to put in the work, even if they are the ones that were abused.
These are the things that I didn't expect when I went no contact with my mom. I have been no contact with my mom on and off for the past 10 years, but I would say it's been pretty consistent for the last 5 or 6 years. When I say no contact, I mean no contact. I don't have her phone number. I don't have her address. She met my son, but only once when he was 2 years old, and now he's about to be 7 years old this year. And she's never met my daughter, and she has not met my fiance. And the one thing that I did not expect when I went no contact with her was the amount of people in my life that would meet me for the very first time, find out that I'm no contact with my mom, and then ask me to mend the relationship. They would just automatically assume that that was my first course of action, and I did nothing to try to make the relationship between me and my mom work before I cut her off. And what I need for people to realize is that is the result of trying to make the relationship work. The no contact is the end of something. It's not the beginning of something. Typically, adult children that have gone no contact with their parents, that wasn't their first plan of action. They tried for probably many years to make the relationship with their mom or dad work. I know for me personally, there were years where my mom didn't take accountability. It wasn't just one conversation. True healing between two people cannot happen if only one person is acknowledging the trauma. And then even once the trauma is acknowledged, there needs to be a change in behavior. And it drives me absolutely insane when people just think, oh, you took the easy way out by just cutting her off. That was not the easy part. That was a very difficult decision. And it's a decision that I personally do not regret, because I know everything that took place, and I know that I'd made the best decision for myself. And as a result of not having contact with me, she also does not have contact with my children. And I've said this in a video before, but children, no matter what the age, do not owe their parents anything. And that includes contact with their grandchildren. Parenting is a one-way street. It always has been that way. It is a job that you do not get thanked for, because your children did not ask to be here. You did not have to have them. I also didn't expect the fallout that would happen with other family members because of my decision to cut off my mom. There are family members that don't talk to me, mostly siblings, just because of the fact that I won't have a relationship with our mom. And that's okay too, because although we have the same mother, I do realize we had a different experience with her based on the amount of time that we spent around her. I'm just saying, if you meet a person and find out that they're no contact with their parents, please respect their decision.
I personally, I really don't blame people that go no contact with their parents, because my dear, families have issues. People have been through things, you know. Someone may not tell you the exact reason, like they may just tell you something small, but if they dive deep into whatever they went through, you too, you will support them. You'll be like, my dear, cut them off. Let me tell you guys, people have been through a lot with families, with family members, not only parents, with aunties, you know, especially in the African community. You find that your own aunties, your own family, they are against you, and that your own family is jealous of you. You find families bewitching each other. Really, why should you stay in contact with someone that you know hates your guts? You know, someone that you know is performing witchcraft on you. And why should you even send your kids over to family members that don't like you? That is another issue. Like, I feel in the Black community, there is this thing of a parent always, you know, wanting her kid to go to, okay, we believe a kid is raised by, you know, a village, a society. So you find that your parents always want you to go to their cousins, they want you to go to your aunties, your uncles, but the things kids face at some of these, you know, relatives' places, oh my god, some of them are tortured, some of them are essayed, you know, it's a lot, guys, it's a lot. And you find that such a person will grow up and they won't want to be in contact with those family members, you know. Sometimes they won't even want to be in contact with their own parents because they feel like it's your fault, you know, you didn't protect me. Maybe sometimes they talk to their parents and their parents, you know, didn't listen. The parents took the side of the other relatives. So you find that this kid grows up with that, you know, that anger, that resentment, and they decide to go no contact with their family member. I really feel we should give people grace. Like, don't be so quick to judge when it comes to, you know, people and their family situations, because honestly, the truth is that families have issues. People have issues, guys. People have issues. You won't know someone's entire life story until they sit you down and they tell you chapter per chapter. So just extend grace. Don't be so quick to judge. You know, just because someone is not going in contact with their parents, you think they are a bad person. You're always pushing them to contact their parents. Sometimes they have their own reasons, and yeah, I feel it's just better to respect them and their decisions. Anyways, guys, tell me what you think about this topic. Let's discuss further in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified each and every time I drop a video. Till next time, I remain Lisa. Peace and love. I love you all. Bye.